the person who wears their sleeping clothing for Salah, their sleeping clothes for Salah. So the pajamas or whatever garment you wear that you use to sleep with, that same garment is used when to pray Salah as well. Now, there is a hadith narrated in Bukhari where the Prophet ﷺ, a man stood up in front of him and asked him about wearing one thobe, one garment for prayer. So this man is asking about the one garment that he'll wear each and every single time, every single day. He's going to wear it to sleep, to eat, to walk outside, to do everything, and also to pray as well. So the Prophet ﷺ asks him, can you not find thawbain? Can you not find two thobes? So the Prophet ﷺ asks him this question. Now, wearing pajamas to pray, is the salah in and of itself valid if you do this? According to the four madhahib, the salah is valid. But why is it considered an error or a mistake when it comes to the prayer? You always want to look good, because how you dress affects the way and your focus on how you pray. This is one of the secrets of the salah that Ibn Qayyim mentions, that this is what dressing and looking good and wearing a proper attire in salah does for the ikhlas of the salah itself. It assists that, it helps it. You want to make sure that you stay away from the clothing that you would sleep with, or the clothing that you would go to work with, and your clothing you would do all of these other jobs with. Now the author here mentions pajamas in particular simply because of the problems that may happen when a person sleeps, and they may encounter certain things that they may not be aware of when they wake up. If you know that when you wake up in the morning and you look at what you're wearing and everything seems to be intact, no problems, nothing, everything's clean, then you can still pray with it. Remember, it's not haram, but there's a dislikeness to it, and it's all because of your akhlaq and manners that you have with Allah Azza wa Jal. Second, transparent clothing. Now this is interesting. We're talking about regular clothing that you and we would see, or you and I might own. For the man, often underneath our thobes, we would have those regular pajamas that you wear with the thobe. That particular pants, you have to be very careful with it. Because if you pray with that pants alone, without a garment over it, there's a possibility you can nullify your salah. Look at yourself in the mirror and see if you cannot see through it. Now the ulama, they say that if you can see the skin color, then the salah becomes invalid. Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah, he mentions here that if a person prays with a t-shirt and that t-shirt exposes the awra of that individual when they go into ruku' or sujood, then the salah needs to be repeated over again. Now what should a woman wear when she's praying? Many of the scholars, especially the scholars of hadith, they emphasize that the woman should wear something that looks or represents a khimar. It should look like a khimar, or it should represent a khimar of some sort. And this is of course based on a couple of narrations where the Prophet ﷺ mentions that every ha'id, every menstruating woman, now the hadith here is not talking about a woman who's menstruating, period. It's talking about all women. It's just a term that's used to describe all women. That every single woman should be covered with a khimar. It's talking about something that should cover like a khimar. It should represent like a khimar.